What's got two glowing rings, all new beefcake Dimensity performance that'll make gamers cream their kecks, and stupefyingly fantastic battery life. It's perhaps not entirely shockingly the smartphone whose name appears in the title of this video. This right here is the fresh new Poco X8 Pro Max. A smartphone so bloody arousing it should be on the top shelf. And yet, despite boasting a lot of flagship specs and features, you can snaffle one for just 469 USDs, or just over 400 GBPs. Now, I've been playing with the Poco X8 Pro Max for a couple of weeks now, so here's what an alcoholic washed up tech twat reckons about the camera tech, the gaming chops, battery life and the rest. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, perhaps unsurprisingly for a smartphone that has both Pro and Max in the name, it's a bit of a biggin. That screen size isn't far off 7 inches, although mercifully the bezels surrounding it are incredibly dinky. It's a bit more obvious if you swap to an app with a light background, so let's swipe away from that bad memory. And pleasingly symmetrical bezels as well, love it. It might look like it's got a ridiculous iPhone-style floating turd notch thing, but that's actually just this Hyper Island, whatever they call it. Just try and get rid of that. There we go. And at 218 grams, the Poco X8 Pro Max certainly has a good old heft to it as well. In fact, this thing weighs as much as some full-sized foldables that I've reviewed recently. So, you know, if you're reclining in bed at 2 AM, doom scrolling or whatever, make sure you put it down before you start to fall asleep, otherwise you'll drop it and probably crush your fucking mug. In my case, it'll probably just be an improvement. But thankfully, the smartphone isn't too chunky, and you've got one of the more subtle camera bumps of recent times. Certainly not a honking great thing that takes up most of the top half of the phone. And gotta say, I quite like Poco's design as well. This is the white model, but you can also snaffle the X8 Pro Max in black or blue. As you can see, you've got a subtle pattern down one edge, this kind of two-tone effect. And I really appreciate how it's a matte finish for the metal edging and also that back end. So it doesn't get all greasy and nasty when you fondle it, even after a sausage sandwich supper. And it's a durable wee bugger as well. You've got Gorilla Glass 7i up front and a fiberglass finish around back. And Poco reckons this thing is more solid than Jason Statham's tits. Apparently it can survive all kinds of bangs and drops. Not going to be putting that to the test because I'm not jerry-rig everything. I've only got one of these buggers to actually use and review. But so far so good, and it's IP68 and IP69 water, dust and spurt resistant. But one of the fancier design elements here on the Poco X8 Pro Max is that dynamic RGB light effect. And basically a pair of light-up rings slapped around the back end, surrounding those camera lenses. It's kind of a jazzy, disco-fied take on notification lights. You can piddle about with these by diving into the smartphone settings, go to additional settings, and then go to, where is the bugger, backlight effects. As you can see, fully customizable. You can knock them off if you're not really a fan. Have them flash for your incoming calls and also specific notifications. And that's quite handy if you want to use them similar to the glyph lighting on the back end of the Nothing phones. You can just slap your Poco X8 Pro Max face down on a table. And then whenever you get an important notification, a work email or a WhatsApp or something, you can have those lights flash to alert you and everything else just be silent. You can also set it so those light rings slowly pulse when you're charging the phone, or they can flash to count down the camera timer, or just get them going when the Poco X8 Pro Max is pumping out music. You can also use them for a bit of gaming RGB shenanigans, although the support is incredibly limited at the moment, as you can see there. And another design feature I truly appreciate here on the Poco X8 Pro Max is the in-display fingerprint sensor, because it's actually an ultrasonic scanner, not a basic optical scanner. So incredibly fast to act and super reliable as well. I think it's failed me like one time the entire time I've been testing this smartphone. I think that was after a doner kebab special. Although one small complaint that I do have is that the always on display isn't actually an always on display, unfortunately, because it does one after just 10 seconds. And your only options if you actually go into always on display or display for 10 seconds after tapping, or when someone looks at the screen, although that's only really any good if you're actually holding the phone or hovering directly over it. And yes, quite clearly there are worse problems to have in today's world, but you know, still slightly got on my tits. And then once you're in there, of course, it is a good bit of HyperOS version 3. Xiaomi's own launcher lovingly smothered on top of Android 16, and at the time I'm shooting this video it's pre-launch, so Poco hasn't revealed exactly how many years of OS updates and security patching the Pro Max will get. I'm certainly expecting at least 3 OS updates, and hopefully they'll improve on the 4 years of security patching that previous generations received, so more like 5 or 6 years. Of course, as is pretty much standard for Xiaomi and Poco smartphones, it does come absolutely loaded with crapware. Loads of random crappy games, including that absolute banger Tile Fun. You've got your AliExpresses, your Booking.Bloody.coms, your Facebooks, all this shenanigans. You just have to spend a wee bit of time when you first get your Poco X8 Pro Max just uninstalling all of that bollocks. Unfortunately, you get 256 gigs of storage minimum here, and you can double that up to 512 gigs for just $60 US, about 50 quid probably here in Blighty, which is considerably more generous than the likes of Apple, who for instance will charge you 200 quid to double up the storage on the bloody iPhone 17e. And of course, HyperOS, quite a divisive launcher, certainly is quite a hefty one, can be a little bit clunky at times. All I can say is it's a vast improvement on some of the MIUI shenanigans from back in the day, even if it is perhaps trying a little bit too hard to be all Apple-ified. You know, you've got some decent additions like a dedicated gaming mode, which we will see later. Anyway, I'm not going to spend ages banging on about HyperOS 3 in this video because I've already done a full dedicated video on that. So if you want to know more about the software and general features, go check that out. But, you know, you do have, once again, all the same excellent customization right here on the Poco X8 Pro Max. You've got all the features you would expect, like a good bit of eSIM action, which is pretty handy if you do a lot of traveling. Now, the front end of the Poco X8 Pro Max is practically filled with that 6.83-inch AMOLED display. So certainly more than spacious enough to comfortably enjoy a bit of movies, gaming, etc. on the go, but keeps things crispy with that 1.5K resolution. You got crazy good contrast here, nice deep inky blacks and crispy whites, and also apparently full 12-bit color support. Now you got not only a bit of HDR10 but also full Dolby Vision support when you're streaming a bit of Netflix or alternative online entertainment services. And while you might not have any kind of fancy anti-reflective glass or anything, thankfully the Poco X8 Pro Max's display gets bright enough to comfortably counter any kind of face light that's shining off it. It did actually get quite sunny here in the UK this past weekend for, it was about 8.5 minutes, so thorough test on the Poco X8 Pro Max in those conditions, no bother at all. The refresh rate maxes out at 120Hz, and if you are sensitive to OLED flicker, you got 3840Hz PWM dimming, and all the usual eye comfort shenanigans too. And the Poco X8 Pro Max sports a dedicated stereo speaker setup as well. You've got one mounted on the bottom edge and also one on the top edge as well. It's not just reusing the earpiece speaker. So no fancy pants triple speaker setup like the Poco F8 Ultra, sadly, but it's still an absolute smasher. And somewhat hysterically, the volume hits 400% in its maximum levels, physics gone mad. And they're certainly crazy loud when you do hit that maximum level, but also they sound about as pleasant to listen to as a flock of seagulls being slowly backed over by a Nissan Micra. The audio is frankly a bit of a muddled mess, especially if you're listening to any music or anything, so I would certainly suggest maxing it out at the actual 100% level. You actually get quite nicely balanced audio and it comes through reasonably clearly. I still wouldn't use them to listen to music, unlike that Poco F8 Ultra, it was actually probably just about good enough to get away with it. You got full support for Bluetooth 6, you got Dolby Atmos, you got high-res audio shenanigans, all that good stuff. And also the Poco X8 Pro Max is the very first smartphone on this f***ed up wee planet to come powered by MediaTek's new Dimensity 9500S chipset. Now this is a slightly less awesome version of the regular Dimensity 9500 flagship chip, but it's still an upgrade over last year's Dimensity 9400 Plus, so it's certainly no worse. That's backed here in my review blower by a lovely 12 gigs of RAM, and certainly just the day-to-day use, nice and smooth, occasional wee little judders here and there in the animations, but again I think that's down to HyperOS rather than the actual performance. And that Immortalus G925 GPU ably handles a wee bit of gaming. Even hardcore morphos like Wuthering Waves play it with close to a perfect frame rate on the maxed out visual settings for a full afternoon, if you really can't be buggered with any of that work stuff. The entire time I was gaming on this thing with the maxed out graphics settings, I saw only a couple of wee judders in that frame rate. And certainly Xiaomi's liquid cool tech does its job. The phone was slightly warm to the touch after a good bit of gaming, but my palms never got sweaty and the performance never seemed to throttle. And as previously mentioned, HyperOS comes stacked with a decent dedicated gaming mode as well. All kinds of useful tools. Although yes, some of those tools like the frame interpolation and the HDR upscaling only work for specific supported titles. I had bugger all issues with the connectivity on here. You've even got full Wi-Fi 7 support, so it's well and truly future-proofed on that front. So yeah, performance overall gets a massive raging thumbs up from myself. And another highlight on here is the battery life. Because thanks to the wonders of silicon carbon tech, Poco's managed to stuff an 8,500 mAh capacity cell inside of this not particularly chunky frame. And that, I believe, is the second biggest capacity battery of any smartphone that I've tested, coming just behind that Realme Power one with its 10,000 mAh battery. It's even bigger than some flagship rivals, the likes of Oppo Find X9 Pro, the OnePlus 15, which weren't exactly slouches in that area. But yeah, the result is that obviously even the most demanding users will happily last the fullest, most ridiculous day on a single charge of this thing. Oh, what's dinging? Joys of being a tech review. I've got about 12 different smartphones and one of them isn't on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, most people should be able to happily last a full weekend on a single charge of this bad boy. And even if you're on a long trip and you just want to play Wuthering Waves non-stop on this thing or something, well, good news, a 100% charge will deliver just short of 6 hours of action. And that is again with all of the graphics settings maxed out on full performance modes and everything. That's one of the best results that I've ever seen out of any smartphone, again, unsurprisingly. And when you do need to juice it back up again, well, good news there as well. You've got 100 watt wired charging, which is probably just as well, or it'd take bloody ages to refill. And you've also got 27 watt reverse charging support. So if you bung a cable in it, you can basically use it as a portable power bank to keep your other tech junk charged up. However, sadly, bugger all support for wireless charging, which to be fair is one of the very few areas where the Poco X8 Pro Max does skimp a wee bit compared with much more expensive flagship smartphones. And hey kiddies, let's finish up this lovely wee squint at the Poco X8 Pro Max by having a thoroughly bloody good look at that camera tech. As you can see, it is just a pair of camera lenses slapped on that back end. And again, this is one of the few areas which differentiates the Poco X8 Pro Max from considerably more expensive flagships. What you've got here is a 50 megapixel Light Fusion 600 sensor. That's a 1/1.95 inch sensor, so not one of the biggest around, but it's also backed by a basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. So yeah, there's bugger all telephoto shooter on here, sadly, so it's digital cropping all the way basically. You got lossless digital zoom up to 2 times though, and you can crop in all the way up to 10 times zoom in total, but once you do so, your photos will start to look rather grainy and crap. And the lack of a zoom lens is a bit of a pain at times, mostly when you're trying to shoot a natural looking portrait pic of your kids or cats or whatever. Although if you do punch in a bit digitally, you still get a reasonably sharp and detailed photo, even in darker scenarios. I was actually surprised at just how well the Poco X8 Pro Max performed at times in that softer light, often still capturing quite rich tones and successfully subduing any noise. And certainly seems to punch above its weight, especially considering it is quite a small sensor. In stronger light and quite dodgy contrast, the Poco again performs pretty well. Unlike some Apple and Samsung shaped rivals, this phone doesn't just saturate every scene. It offers quite natural tones and realistic looking shadows. And when you are shooting living subjects, the Pro Max can usually deal with a bit of sudden motion as long as there's plenty of light. Otherwise, yes, blur is pretty much inevitable. Yeah, that 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter, it's there if you need it, but honestly the drop in detail level's pretty substantial and there's no image stabilization, so you have to keep your hands steady. It's a bit crap in low light. And of course, you've got all the usual camera modes and everything slapped on here as well, including a dedicated Pro mode where you can fiddle around with the likes of the ISO levels, the white balance, etc. You can knock up that resolution to the full 50 meg if you fancy. You've also got support for raw image capture. And yes, you can swap to video as well if you fancy again having full control. Otherwise, the regular video mode does allow you to shoot up to 4K resolution footage at 30 or 60 frames per second. And if we jump on into the camera settings as well, go to that video section, you'll see you've got full support for HDR10+. And yeah, the video capture is not bad, if not particularly excellent either. The stabilization's decent, with only a wee bit of judder when you're moving and shooting at that Ultra HD level. And the Poco X8 Pro Max can spaff out some respectable looking footage in more ambient light when needed. But of course there's no optical zoom, and those visuals do start to look quite blocky if you punch in digitally. And audio comes through fine as well. There's not too much distortion when it is a wee bit breezy. And then finally up front you've got yourself a 20 megapixel selfie camera. Make sure you actually keep still when shooting a selfie, otherwise you'll just be a blurry mess. And unfortunately can't record in 4K Ultra HD resolution with this. It does max out at Full HD 1080p at 60 frames per second. The stabilization's pretty good. The detail levels actually aren't too bad, even when the lighting conditions aren't fantastic. Like in this rather ambient studio right now, for instance. And the audio pickup's alright as well, so certainly perfectly fine for your video chats. Does the job, I guess, for a vlog. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a delicious wee nutshell is what I reckon of the Poco X8 Pro Max, which frankly, absolutely bloody stupidly ridiculously good value for money. In pretty much every department, it more or less matches, or in some cases even surpasses, the most expensive flagship smartphones out there. And I'll tell you what, I only just reviewed the iPhone 17e, which for £600 just looks even more of a complete waste of money compared with this absolute bargain. You know, I slightly missed the wireless charge, and it would have been nice to have a telephoto shooter, but again, for under £500 and under $500 in the US, just crazy good. Certainly a very strong rival to the Nothing Phone 4a Duo for best value for money. But anyway, that's what this hungover sack of foul-smelling air reckons. But what do you think of the Poco X8 Pro Max? Are you tempted? Be great to your thoughts down in the commenty bit below. And while you're down there, please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell. Make sure you have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everybody. Love you.